Hi, and welcome to Kinny's Fave shows. My name is Kinny Singh, and I created this podcast to talk about and share my love for my favorite shows. This is a passion project of mine. It doesn't exactly have anything to do with my work. I actually run my own business, and it's called Checkmate Editing Services. I'm an editor and proofreader of all kinds of written content. And I was recently at this networking event, and as everyone was introducing themselves, I was really surprised to hear how many of them actually have podcasts. And they were all talking about the advantages of having one, including being able to showcase your business, what you do, how you work, what people can expect from you, and also the advantages of having guests on and being a guest so that you can expand your own audience. So I sat down and thought that maybe I should start one. So I did a quick search, and there's a lot of information out there on podcasting and how to get started, and a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that you need to know. So I sat down and decided to brainstorm ideas on what I could possibly talk about. And I thought about talking about what I do as an editor and proofreader and how I might differ from others in my workflow. But I thought, okay, maybe that's like 2 episodes worth of content, maybe 3. And I was racking my brain trying to come up with other ideas. And so I decided to take a break, and I sat down to watch an episode of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. And after watching the episode, I tried to go back to my brainstorming, but I realized that all I was really thinking about was that amazing episode of Voyage that I had just watched. And so I texted my older sister, because she's really the only other person I know who's also a fan. And we talked about the episode a bit and how good it was. And I thought, I wonder if there's a podcast out there that does Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea episode reviews or just talks about the show. And so I did a search, but I didn't really find anything. And I did see that there were some podcasts out there that mentioned the show, but nothing actually dedicated to it. So I thought, oh, what if I started a podcast and just talk about Voyage and the show and the episodes and the reasons why I love it so much? And so I got super excited with that idea. More excited than anything that I had been brainstorming. But the next day, I happened to put on an episode of I Dream of Jeannie while I was taking a work break. But then I thought, I'd actually love talking about this show too. And then I did a quick search for an I Dream of Jeannie podcast. And again, I didn't really see anything. So then I decided to expand my original idea and just create a podcast where I can talk about all my favorite shows. So I don't know who this podcast will reach or if anyone's going to hear it or listen, but honestly, even if it reaches that one person who's also a fan of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea or other shows like Magnum PI or MASH, it would mean so much to know that there are other people like me out there. And I haven't met very many people who are interested in the same shows as me. And I really want to talk about how much I love the show, all these shows, with someone other than my sister, who's actually the reason I became a fan of Star Trek and some of these shows in the first place, but that's a story for another episode. Anyway, I've already started planning the next few episodes, and I'm super excited. And chances are, if you happen to be a Trekkie, you'd probably be a fan of a show like Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, especially those first couple seasons. Or if you're a fan of Bewitched, but you've never seen I Dream of Jeannie, you'd probably love that too. So I plan to give overviews of shows as well as talk about specific episodes, and hopefully that can pique your interest in something that maybe you've never seen or heard of, and if you're interested, you can go and check it out. So if you're a fan of any of the shows I talk about, then I'd love for you to reach out to me. Let me know if there are any episodes or specific topics you want me to talk about. Let me know. Or if you have shows suggestions for me based on what I talk about, I'd love to hear that. Just check out the show notes, or if this is YouTube, check out the YouTube description for details on how to reach me and find me on social media. And on that note, to quote Fred Penner, who used to say this at the end of his show, he had a kids show called Fred Penner's Place. He used to sing a song. I'm not going to sing it because I can't sing. I'm just going to say it. Take good care of each other. That's what friends like to do. Let your sister and brother help you learn that it's true. We all need to feel wanted for the people who we are. So take good care of each other. And this is something that I've always remembered and kept very close to my heart. I personally have never really fit in, and I know what it's like to be different. And my interests have always been something I've tended to keep hidden and to myself. But as I've grown, I've learned to embrace who I am. And so I'm really proud of this podcast. And it gives me a chance to share my passions and interests with the world. So until next time, friends, take good care of each other.